Hello, this is Zachary Morris, and I'm going to provide for you a facial release massage that is founded in mindfulness as well as yoga techniques to help release the facial structure and the muscles for us to perhaps be better singers and to also kind of release the tension that we acquire in our face throughout our day and our living. The first thing I'll ask you to do is find a comfortable seated position where we will remain for the remainder of this exercise. I'll then ask you to find your breath, inhaling in through the nose, and then letting your breath go through the mouth. Inhaling into the nose, and then a long exhale. We'll then bring our hands together and just apply a little friction to our hands, warming them up and feeling the heat generate in between our palms and underneath our fingers. Once the heat becomes adequate enough for your taste, I will then invite you to cup the hands over top of the eyes. Breathe into this space, into this warmth. I'll then invite you to drag the hands down so that the fingertips are on top of the brows of the forehead. And then I invite you to inhale and drag those fingertips up to the hairline and then back down again, returning. On your exhale, inhale, return. Exhale. Allow the thumb to be at your temple as you continue this action at your own pace. Experimenting with what pressure feels good for you in this moment. I'll then invite you to bring your index finger to just where the ear meets the skull. Let that index finger rest there and inhale. And whenever it comes, exhale, drag the finger down to the fronts of the ears, releasing the joints of the mandible. Inhale, return, and then exhale. Let it fall down again. Repeating this action at your own will, 2 more sequences. Now, allow your fingers just to rest on your jaw. Now I will invite you to bite down on your back molars. You may notice a bubble protruding from your jaw. Find where that jaw is with 2 fingers, where the bubble is. Release, and then massage into that area, applying adequate enough pressure . Very good. Now from here, we're going to place our thumb underneath our chin into the fleshy material just above the larynx. And from this position, we're just going to apply a gentle bit of rotating pressure with the thumb into this space, keeping the soft palate nice and lifted and the breath moving freely. Inhale and exhale, applying pressure. We are massaging the base of the tongue. Massive muscle. And once we've adequately released that, I'll now ask you to make 2 peace signs with your fingers. Let the middle finger be above the top of the larynx, above the protrusion of the Adam's apple, and then let the index finger or pointer finger rest underneath it. Now, for this exercise, I will ask you not to make any sounds or to move. I will ask you to breathe in very, very freely through an open throat in order to avoid any possible injury or uncomfort. What we're going to do is apply just a small amount of pressure, moving over to the left and then over to the right. What we're doing is we are massaging the cartilage in between and within the larynx to kind of find a little bit of movement and elasticity into this part of the body. You may notice some popping and cracking going on. It's totally normal, but please just continue to be gentle in this exercise. And then once you have reached an adequate repetition amount of those, you may quit. Take a swallow, and then dip the chin upward, and then down. Scooping the chin up, and then down. Feeling the stretch all along the front of the throat. Very good. Now bring your index fingers and the middle fingers and the ring fingers to just behind the neck, and just give yourself a little massage here. Be mindful of any tension that you may feel or the tightness of muscles underneath your fingers. Perhaps start at the base of the neck and then work your way up to the hairline on an inhale, and then on an exhale drop it back down. Very good. Now repeat the same action, but with the sides of your hands, this position, on the side of the neck, inhaling up, and then exhaling down. Inhaling up, and down. Very good. The next thing we're going to do is apply some tension to our forehead, which will then perhaps release some of the muscles in the upper part of the skull and the cranium down into this area. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring two index fingers and middle fingers together. And you're going to bring them just to the bridge above the nose. Okay? On an inhale, and then followed by an exhale. We're going to trace a half moon just above the ridge of the cheekbone, and then back again. Taking your time, perhaps your exhale is the movement across. And the inhale is a reset as you exhale once more, returning the fingers back to the bridge. Inhaling and exhale, tracing underneath, making half moons. Also being mindful of all of the resonance chambers that are now underneath our fingers that we are relaxing and loosening up. It is pretty amazing, the fingerprint of our voice and how it is developed by all of the different caverns and cavities and tissue that makes our own unique sound. And how releasing these chambers and cavities can greatly benefit our sound and our singing. Now, we're going to do the same thing on the top. This time lifting the eyebrows high, tracing two fingers on another half moon, completing the top. Incorporate whichever breath flow feels natural for you. Perhaps an inhale across or an exhale across. Yogi's choice. Once you feel you have completed an adequate number for you, complete the circle totally, creating two full half moons. Being mindful of your breath, mindful of your posture, and mindful of how crucial it is that we take care of our eyes. Very good. Stretch the fingers out. We're applying a lot of pressure. The next exercise will include a lifted eyebrow. So lifting the eyebrows high and then bringing 3 of your fingers to replace where the eyebrow was. You will then allow for the brow to just kind of rest on top of those fingers. Now from here, we are going to furrow the brow, applying pressure to the tops of our fingers on an exhale. And inhale, you're going to release and drag the fingers up to the top of the skull. And then slide them back down again. Returning our fingers here. Inhale. And on an exhale, apply pressure, pushing the eyebrows down onto the tops of the fingers. When that's complete, bringing the fingertips up to the skull and coming down. You may feel the stretch on the top of your head. It's very intricate, these muscles across our face. Inhale and exhale, applying pressure to those fingers. And release, coming back up again. Bringing the hands and palms flat on the forehead and just going into circles into this whole area. We are breaking up the fascia of the face. The fascia being the material of our bodies that is not bone, circulatory system, nervous system, skin. It's all of the stuff that is in between all of that. You can feel this really clearly if you have your hand flat and then you apply pressure to your fingers and bend them back ever so slightly. You may feel a burning sensation within your joints or within the base of your fingers. That is the fascia being released. So what this massage does is releases the fascia of the face, which then will perhaps allow for you to discover singing in a different way, allowing you to resonate more freely. Bringing back our movement of friction in the hands. And then cupping the hands over top of our eyes, just as we began. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale once more. And on a longer exhale than inhale, just drag the hands down the face. Rolling the shoulders, being mindful of any tension that may have accrued during the practice. Perhaps taking right ear to right shoulder. And then exhale, roll it across. And repeating the action with your breath as it comes. Bringing hands to heart center, inhaling the arms up above the head, and exhale them down. Returning. Thank you very much. That has been our brief 14-minute facial massage video. I hope this will be useful for you, for your choirs, and for your own personal practice. Thank you. Namaste.